Welcome to part 1 out of I don't know how many videos I'm gonna make of this, of my 100 subscriber special. For this first video, I'm gonna be showcasing all of my original creations that you see on screen right now. Note that only original creations will be showcased, meaning the Ocean Monument here and the Skull Arena here, these two Minecraft sets, will not be in this video. I mean, technically they will be, they'll just be in the background, however. But, without further ado, let's start. Alright, starting off strong, we have both default and virus 8-bit. Alright, starting out with some major details. Both the arms for both the default 8-bit and virus 8-bit are posable, as you can see right there. Both game cartridges are removable. And here's virus 8-bits. Now, one thing to know that that regular 8-bits game cartridge is significantly larger than the virus 8-bits. I don't know why I did that. It's just, I have no idea why I did that. Moving on to the cables, you can see right there. It's got the little brass thing on it that actually connects it into the wall on both of them. Now, there is this weird port thing on both 8-bit and virus 8-bit. Yes, I stuttered there. I'm not exactly sure what it's for, but I'm pretty sure it's so you can plug in a blaster, because there's one on the left-hand side. Moving on, now actually talking about the blaster, the build for the blaster is honestly pretty simple. It's Erling brick, new style headlight brick, 1x1 square tiles, 2 of them. This can actually be a one with the stud on top. The only reason why this one doesn't have a stud on top is just because I don't have one. This design here. And finally, where did I put that final piece? And finally, another headlight brick with just a 1x2 tile. I shaved this one down just so it looks nicer on the front. Then you just stick it on the hand. Now, virus 8-bits robotic crab legs. Now, making this, as you know, there's a lot of purple. However, the Travis brick in the center, however, is supposed to be black. I just painted this purple so then it fits and doesn't look too out of place. That's virus 8-bit, which I just knocked down. And here's regular 8-bit. It's very simple shoes. One of them is just on a regular 1x2 tile. The other is on a 1x2, whatever this tile is called, I forgot. Just so it looks like one leg is in front of the other. But anyway, that is both 8-bit and virus 8-bit. By the way, this V thing is held on by some blue tack, if you're wondering. Next on our list is Iris Terra. Now, there's not really much on this to explain. I'm just gonna move the cards. One is a money symbol. One is an actual tarot card from an actual Lego tarot card. Here they are. And here's Iris Terra. One thing to note that the third iron or forehead is just basically a 1x2 tile that's been cut down into, the third eye. And for her hair, this is just very simply a piece of hot glue that I shaped into this ponytail, and that is the top of a gold stud. You can kind of see it. Focus. But yeah, that is Iris Terra. Next on our list, we're switching up games completely and going to another one of Supercell's games, Clash Royale, with the Magic Archer. Now, there isn't really much to say, but this is a 2.0 model, however. And I'm not going to show you the first model because that actually looked pretty bad, and I scrapped it years ago. So if you're wondering why if there are a couple designs that you don't recognize from the original game, it's basically I've made my own sort of 3rd or 4th star level for.
Alright, just very quickly, sorry for the very long time pauses. I just didn't script this out, and I also tend to get very anxious.
For him. So yeah. That's why there's all this extra gold. You can kind of see it. I can get this to focus. But yeah. That is the Magic Archer. That's his left hand. That is Clash Royale's Magic Archer. Staying on Clash Royale, we have my favorite card in the game, the Lumberjack. And if you're wondering why he's on this fancy trophy-looking thing, it's because, he's my favorite card. This is also one of my favorite minifigures I've ever made, so that explains that. So let's remove him from the stand really quickly. Alright, now that he is removed from this stand, we can actually take a look at him better. Now, starting off, this is another one of my star level 2 or 3 concepts. So just wanted to say that really quickly. Rage spell here, nothing too special. Axe has been custom painted. Moving on to Lumberjack himself, I actually made him with a reversible head. What you're seeing now is the normal head. And this right here is his supercharged on way too much rage spell head. I think I may have gone a little bit too far with the purple, but, I think this looks really good. And if anyone is wondering, this is what he looks like without the beard. It doesn't look right to me, for obvious reasons. Alright, so the beard is back on. Let's move on to a couple smaller details. Right there you can see a little diamond tattoo and a battle axe tattoo on his back. You can see an arm tattoo of another axe here on his right arm, and on his left arm this is basically just a rage ball tattoo. Main reason I do this is just so that I don't mix up the left from right. Yes, that happens sometimes. Here is the Lumberjack back on his trophy stand, and believe it or not, I actually have another. Right here. And here is the other Lumberjack. Now, Rage Bottle is exactly the same, except for the 1x1 clear tile is now a 1x1 clear circular stud. So, yeah. His axe, however, is different. There's a diamond on the end because it's in my name. And his axe is actually supposed to be made out of netherite. You can see the red tint on the blade and the black on the rest of the body with little gold accents here and there. Moving on to Lumberjack himself. Now, on this specific Lumberjack minifigure, I accidentally glued the hat to his head with liquid cement that was supposed to be used for putting Gundams together. The reason why I used liquid cement on this was because I used it as a Sharpie solvent, which this was before I realized hand sanitizer does a good if not better job than liquid cement. So yeah, here is this version of the Lumberjack with his weapon and his rage bottle. But that is both of my Lumberjacks. Alright, shifting gears back to Brawl Stars, here is Barley. Honestly, this is a really simple design. This probably took me about one day to make. So maybe about less than 10 hours or so. Here's your little here's your little bottle. It's got an X on it. Here's his hat. And this is what his face looks like with and without the mustache. Yes, don't ask me why I drew a little W there. But yeah, that is Barley. And switching back to Clash Royale, this is an Ice Wizard tower. I know it's not in Clash Royale, but it does have the Ice Wizard in it. And looking at the Ice Wizard for a quick second, this is kind of an outdated model. I probably have to update this, but for now, this is just kind of what the Ice Wizard looks like. Alright, I also made a stand for the Ice Wizard. As you can see, he's trailing ice wherever he walks, and this is just a very simple dynamic pose. Moving on to the tower itself. You can see the amount of detail that went into this. This is probably one of my most detailed builds ever, which isn't really saying much because I barely do buildings. Now, a neat thing about this is that you can actually move the bottom here. That doesn't really do much, but I can remove the floor tile here, and this is what it looks like. Very simple. Just a couple of like brick debris and ice on it, and I'm gonna put the base back. You can actually cover this up and turn this into some sort of storage compartment, which I honestly really like. But putting the floor tile back, you can. Let's take a closer look at this. There's specks of gold on the side supports here. Now, one thing that's kind of inconsistent is that there's a lot of noise in this area right here, like the sides. But when it actually comes to the walls itself, it's awfully plain and quiet. So, honestly, I'm just pretty sure that 13 or 15-year-old me was very lazy when I was making this. So, yeah. But anyway, that is the Ice Wizard Tower. Moving back to Brawl Stars, this was a request from a commenter on the last voiceover video I did, which is honestly quite long ago. I said I'd do them. Yeah, I'm doing it. But anyway, that's off topic. This is a request from a commenter by the name of Shivis. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but he requested Lego Edgar. Now, I actually had Edgar, I had made Edgar months before he commented that, but I just didn't show him in that video, so here he is now. Now, his scarf is actually made of a slightly elastic fabric that I got from an old pair of pajamas. But that doesn't matter. Here's Edgar himself. You can see on the back. You can see a bit of the scarf. You can see a red X, which is actually on the back of his Star Park vest in game. On his torso here, you can see the amount of detail I put into this. From his name tag to the Bad Random shirt, and even the Undone vest. This is Edgar with his scarf back on, and looking at his hands here, you can actually see I did put in the effort to add the detail of his nail polish and his gloves. But yeah, that is Edgar. Now with Edgar, I'm also working on another variant on one of his skins, which sneak peek right here. Now, if you've watched the last video, I've showed you default BB. Now, get ready. Heroine BB. Yes, I also have more than one. I also have more than one BB. So, how will we talk about her? Let's start with Mr. Sword here. You can see, first of all, what is supposed to be a Game Boy on the bottom. So let's remove this really quickly and take a look at Mr. Sword here himself. You can see this little smile, which I actually put on both sides. You can kind of see a little bit of it fading through, like there, right there. Editor Reese, zoom in on that and just show like the layer on like each side. Very good. I'm torturing myself right now. But anyway, that is Mr. Sword's face. Taking a look at the guard here. This is actually a handcuff piece, but I actually cut off the cuffs part and just glued it onto the front. It's that simple. Setting Mr. Sword aside, let's actually take a look at BB here. I really went all out with the details here, from little pins on her jacket, which are actually pieces that I stuck on. You can see the trophy. I'm not sure what the red one is, and I'm also not sure what the pink one is. Don't mind the string. That's just like her hair ties. Moving to the back, you can see her hairpiece right there, which is actually stuck to the back of her head. If I can remove this, see, it's stuck to the back of her head. That was the only way I could get it on there back then. You can see the back of her jacket. There's the rather scuffed looking scar. Zoom in on that, Reese. Thank you. You see her shorts. Her shorts, the belt, the crop top, and the jacket. And her shoes. Honestly, not really the most interesting. But BB is my main in Brawl Stars, and I really like how this turned out. So this is Heroine BB. Alright, next we have Robo Spike. And you can actually see I put a lot of detail into this. From the bolts on the side of his head to the seaweed that's kind of hanging off of it, this wheel piece right here. You actually see like this actually looks like it's slightly rusted, honestly. But this isn't really that much to show. This is really simple. If you're wondering how I got the hands on there, it's very simple. Just use a glue gun.
Unfortunately, that will have to do it for this video, so I'm going to split this into two parts, which part 2 is coming out next week. The reason why I'm doing this is mainly because I want this video to be up by Saturday or Sunday, depending on where you live. So, yes, that's going to have to do it for the video. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing, as part 2 comes out next weekend, and more videos will be coming the following weeks. As you keep in mind, this is only the first part of the 100 subscriber special, so please make sure you're subscribed. But for now, my name is Reese. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.